What is up? We are still in August and still in Bionicle month, and look at this. Where's all the Bionicle? Well, this is gonna be the last video for the Bionicle wave, and actually the best part about 2015 is that there's actually more Bionicle. Stay tuned for the end. Because this was like the prime of my childhood right here. Probably some of the best LEGO Star Wars sets to ever come out. Probably the biggest wave of LEGO Star Wars sets to ever come out. And even like some of like the Marvel sets, City sets, and everything in between is basically on display right here. So we're gonna just get started. Now the weird thing about like this year is that in particular is that we actually got some very cool minifigures that they haven't really made. Like the first Ant-Man movie only gave us one set, but we actually got a Hank Pym minifigure. Now we've had a couple Hank Pym variants of like comic versions and stuff, but the weird thing is that he came in this black suit, which pretty sure is like early material, and that's like very common for like the MCU. In fact, honestly, with a lot of these like early movies, they can only go based off what early pre-production stuff they could actually get their hands on. This was just kind of that weird case where like, yeah, we get a Michael Douglas minifigure right here, while we also get an amazing Paul Rudd minifigure that's just Ezra Bridger. That's looking back 3 years ago and thinking, holy crap, that's what really kickstarted this channel, was the true 20th anniversary of Clone Wars, and these minifigures are still the only 2003 LEGO sets that we've ever gotten, especially that exclusive Asajj Ventress. Like, we never got even a new Asajj Ventress until just last year, and I haven't even really gotten anything to talk about that, because honestly, I feel like making a lot of Star Wars content, like, I typically talk about Star Wars, but I don't get to talk a lot about it, but 2003 Clone Wars is very special to me, and the fact that like we still only have one set, like they could definitely make another one of those, but like the fact is that like I'm just happy for the one we got, and even like this Padawan, like I'm actually more synonymous with this look, not for the 2003, but like the way they used him in Yoda Chronicles. This is the exact look they used for Anakin's. Like Agent Kallus was basically the main antagonist for season 1 and half of season 2 technically for Rebels, like, and he is like one of the most major characters in the show. He's only in like 2 sets, I believe, and the fact is that we don't even get that many like ISB agents until like the U-Wing that came out last year, but like this is more of like the Battlefront like ISB Legends look for them anyway, so like I really do like this minifigure, and like I think we need more ISB agents just in the future, because we also have this amazing Rebels Trooper, the more exaggerated animated version of it, which is funny because all the Rebels characters just look like normal minifigures from the time, but like the Stormtrooper is the only one that has more of an exaggerated features based off the cartoon and show, since like they probably wanted to steer away from like the Clone Wars Legos at the time, even though 2014 was just a year prior where they used that Anakin. Okay, so not 9 Nub, I'm like 910. I think this is 910 from the Poe Dameron X-Wing. We'll get to that, because I actually don't own the set anymore. We do have R4, strangely, in the Asajj Ventress 2003 Clone Wars, so we have some Ultron Sentries right here, and actually these are like from the battle packs from the 2015 wave. I don't even have the set for this anymore, but I still just have all the figures, and I have like the little captain for like the Ultron Prime anyway, so I think that's just kind of funny too. I also have the Lieutenant look from Rebels as well, like this like nice dark tan look for the Rebels. They came in the TIE Advanced prototype. Technically this could be, not Lieutenant List, the other like Imperial dude from season 1 that got murked by Grand Inquisitor. We'll get to him in a second. Random Resistance pilot. I really love the Resistant pilot helmets. A shame that people hate the sequels, because sometimes they actually had some good designs, especially like the new Rebel helmets that they made and they never used again, because the Poe Dameron helmet, especially, like Poe Dameron just looks amazing. In fact, what happened, we needed more of these Oscar Isaac. We could have used an Apocalypse figure but made him blue. Like, come on, you have robbed us, LEGO. Whatever they were doing to Chris Hemsworth in the early 2010s, like, why was it this blonde? Like, I mean, now they've used better hair pieces for it too, but like, it was funny to think in the first 2 Avengers movies, this is all that Thor looked like in the minifigures. It's very charming to look back on, and I love the capes, like the very silky capes that they used. I don't care about the main villain of this. Also, what they did with Elizabeth Olsen in these movies. Like, okay, I think like the fact that we got like an actual Scarlet Witch minifigure based off Multiverse of Madness and the WandaVision TV show, I mean, at least we got in that, but it's like, it's just a red coat, guys. Okay, we got, but yeah, it's very funny and very charming to look back at all these Age of Ultron sets. Yeah, this is Hawkeye, but you wouldn't tell, because I don't know why they couldn't get Hawkeye right until 2023 when he got his own CMF minifigure. I don't get it. I guess if we use the Jeremy Renner app, I think we could have gotten a much better user interface for this, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that joke is outdated. Okay, let's look at a bunch of clone troopers, alright? Because this was the year where they came out with just an absurd amount of battle packs. Like, I'm talking, like, strangely, I don't know why I had, like, 4 of the Geonosis battle packs, and I also had like 2 of the Coruscant guards as well too. Honestly, I think it's kind of funny how people think that like these are some of like the worst battle packs, but then guess what happened? We never had like 5 battle packs in a year ever again, and now we got them at $40. Though for real, I really do like the Senate Commando look for it. I think they were used prominently in Clone Wars, and this is a very Clone Wars-esque design for them anyway. And people would be like, oh my gosh, they're just not exclusive because it was exclusive to the Venator, and it should have been exclusive in the new Venator. And it's like, what if people want to buy cool figs sometimes for cheap? I don't know, like, think about that for 2 seconds, stupids. I have a really funny story about this guy. This was also in the same boat where I used this character a lot in my early movies. When I first bought the Microfighter Republic gunship, I would use this clone pilot like all the time. Okay, I'm just gonna get the big boy out of the way here first. The ATDP. Now, this was like a surprise Lego set that I had growing up as a kid. Like, I made a whole wish list for my parents to buy me a couple sets for Christmas in 2015. It was like the last year I really did that anyway, and I really never even did that prior, but I was like, you know what, I really like this design in Walker. I saw this in the store all the time. I'm like, I want the ATDP, specifically as a kid, so I could get Agent Callus, and here it is. I got it opening Christmas morning, and look at this, the set that I wanted, and I was so happy, because I didn't even own any Walkers at the time. Like, this was generally like the first Walker design that I ever got in, and it was really happy because I love these like little dome pieces. They look like little eyes, like little like Nemoidian eyes. I also really like the sleekness on the top. Like, you can open it up and then you can actually put your little pilots inside, and the little pilots, there are 2 of them in this set, and that was very easy to put in, but I really like the little hatchet at the top, and you would see this all the time in Rebels where like Zeb and Ezra would infiltrate the ATDP and they would go inside, so it was like a perfect recreation from the show. I also really like the little feet design. It's like, honestly, it's a very underrated set for how like sleek and nice it is. Like the Rebel designs are based off like the Ralph McQuarrie art, so like this is basically a prototype ATST, right? Or at least like on Lothal, these were the ones that they're only manufacturing on that planet, even though you saw them on other planets in the show technically too. These were prototypes, and then there's like the ATAC from like Bad Batch and Maul's Shadow Lord as well. So like I wish they would also make a vehicle like that, because that's a lot more boxier, but they have like the same like design philosophy with like this like turret, like where it's only like a single turret and that's it. Like, that's basically the only weakness of this vehicle, is that there's only 1 weapon system, and then there's only 2 pilots on the inside. Like, I think it's a funny design, but it's like... And speaking of Rebel designs, we're gonna look at this troop transport that was based off like an 80s toy that they made in official Lego, and then they brought back in The Mandalorian, made a bigger version of the set, and here we are, you know, 11 years later, and yeah, this is like an amazing understated battle pack. You literally just got 4 stormtroopers in the set, like just 4 normal stormtroopers, and you can put them all in like the little like areas, and these are like little, like these are made for like prisoners essentially, so it's funny that like you put the stormtroopers in there, because like the stormtroopers were the ones that were prisoners. That's kind of funny. You do have like 2 flick fire missiles and 2 like turrets on the front, but it was funny at the time because this was like one of the most piece count in a battle pack, because they really just went for the aesthetic with it, and they were like, you know what, we'll cram 4 stormtroopers in it, it'll be a perfect $10 Lego set. And it wasn't wrong. I wish I would have picked up way more of these, because I think this set in particular has gone up way more. Like, I got this for like $5 back at Bricks and Figs. I had it back in the day, and then I just, you know, lost all the pieces for it essentially. So, but that wasn't the only battle packs. You had the Geonosis AT-RT Walker with the giant stud turret, and basically if you twist the back of it, all the studs come off. I don't want to do it because my room's already a mess, though the fun part is that the flap in the front can like unfold with all the hinges. You could put 2 minifigures, and as a lot of points of articulation on the Walker. Like, I'm surprised they just don't use this type of model. Like, I think they use a similar model to this in the 2016 Turbo Tank, I'm pretty sure. And then they gave us like the Shadow Trooper Battle Pack with this like amazing Scythe, and technically this was a vehicle from Force Unleashed. Like, it's kind of weird, in the year of 2015 we get another Force Unleashed Lego set like this. That's kind of weird, right? Like, I kind of find that weird. And then you have the Coruscant turret right here, and I'm pretty sure these have been used technically, but like they're very like common kind of like turrets that they've used. It's just like in a different color essentially. I forgot what the actual like turret name was in like the vehicle and design, but this is like every battle pack is based off a design, and I really do appreciate that. Yet another reason to use the stud turrets. You know what? I'll get these out of the way too. These are like the 2 Lego City sets that I still had back in the day, and this Lego Crater set right here. This Lego Crater, like, Like, I got the Jeep because I think I paid for it with my own hard-earned $5 money at the time. It is missing a couple pieces, but I like the little grille. I like the little two-seater in the back. I think the alternate builds are cool, but like, this is a nice little compact Jeep that I really do love. I love the little detailing with like the spare wheel in the back. I think that's really cute. Though some of the cheaper city sets that I got here too is like, I had this like ski set. I think it also came with like a little like ice block, but I did love this set. And the reason I got this set back in the day is because I wanted a scuba set. Like 2015 went crazy with the underwater theme. Modern day Aqua Raiders, like the way they just did like the space theme a couple years ago, like classic Space Police essentially. Like you get to go attack a giant octopus, and the octopus mold is really cool. And for like the $7 this was back in the day, like you get a cool little jet ski, a nice little terrain build, and a cool, like I just wanted the squid. Like, can you blame me? I just wanted squid. Okay, but you came for the channel for polybags, obviously. So here's the two polybags that I have for this year. I'm actually pretty certain that's the 2016 set, so we're gonna still show it off anyway right here. This is the Joker polybag bumper card. I used to see this at Target like all the time, and I didn't pick it up until I got it on Bricklink like a couple years ago. It is, yes, a Joker minifigure with a bumper cart. I like the bumper cart design, but to be honest, I forget why I have it sometimes. Besides, I like polybags and I like DC. This one's kind of funny because this is still like the one that people hate a lot, because it's like it's usually based off the original concept art design, so it's like it thought that it was just like a giant top heavy, like it wasn't like supposed to fold out. But when I was a kid, I would just literally go like this for some reason to make it feel like it was attacking. And actually, this is kind of funny. It looked like a AT hauler now. But I actually did like the Kylo Ren like drop shuttle, honestly. Like, I didn't even mind the way that Lego interpreted it, even though it's supposed to technically go like though the only like set I have on the table at the moment is the TIE Advanced prototype. What a great design. I'm so glad they brought these back on Sinar in Andor Season 2 to really make this connected, because this is a great model of the TIE Advanced with an amazing Inquisitor minifigure. Yes, this is actually my rarest minifigure that I own, with the helmet and the original Grand Inquisitor design from 2015. But the fact is that you could basically put Darth Vader in it and have like the recreation from the Season 2 dogfight. But like, you get Grand Inquisitor in it, so you just put Grand Inquisitor easily in there, and then boom, done, right? Like, it's like the TIE Advance without the elongated back. I have talked about this set in the true 20th anniversary for Lego Star Wars, and this was the 2003, the only 2003 Lego Clone Wars set, so I get to show it off on the channel again here, though it is very dusty because I've barely put it out in the past 3 years. It's been sitting on a shelf for a while, but like, I just wanted to show it off because I have talked about this set quite a few times on the channel, but like, this is probably one of the coolest Starfighter designs, especially since it's an Anakin's custom Starfighter that was only seen in that show, and Genndy Tartarsky really has like just cool ship designs. I wish this would be brought back somehow. Before we talk about Bionicle, we are going to talk about the buildable figures, the Star Wars buildable figures from 2015. This is actually the first launch. Now, I am missing half the wave, obviously, because there was a Kenobi, a General Grievous, and I'm pretty sure there was a and Vader. Vader was the other one. I'm only missing half the wave here. Essentially, Grievous, Vader, and Obi-Wan are the ones I'm missing. However, I pretty much have a good variety of all these characters anyway, because I have Luke, Cody, and Jango. And I have talked about these guys also on the channel, so I'll keep it kind of brief. But like, I really think that obviously I have the same sentiment with every other person. Like, the ones with faces are just a little awkward, but like, I really did love this line. Like, the first reason I love this set is because like, getting Jango and Cody back in the day was generally one of the coolest sets to possibly own. Like, I always own this Cody one, and it's like one of my favorite like Lego designs ever. And the fact that like they translated Bionicle into Star Wars, it's like, it was a very niche, but it was a niche that I really loved, and I actually have been collecting a couple more within the past couple years. And I did make a video on this last year, so that's why I'm going to keep this a little bit brief. But like, you know, boy oh boy, now we finally get to talk about Lego Bionicle 2015, the Gen 2 wave for Bionicle. Gen 1 ended all the way back in 2010 with Lego Stars, but truly it was 2009. So 6 years later, Lego brought it back because honestly a fan demand on how popular Bionicle was, maybe a little bit prematurely, but I gotta admit, without 2015 and 2016, I wouldn't be able to get back into Bionicle the way I am nowadays. Like, I have just such a fondness for Gen 2, not because of the story, but generally because I think like the actual builds of the characters are some of the best that Bionicle has ever made, and specifically 2015 might encapsulate the reason why I still love Bionicle at the end of the day, is because I love the toys, I love the characters and the designs. Like, it's just so much more unique than like Hero Factory and other things that LEGO has done with like trying to make buildable characters, right? Like even like Ninjago, where I'd be like, yeah, Ninjago is kind of doing its own thing. Like it has the mechs, it has the dragons, it has all the really cool designs that you come to expect basically from a LEGO shonen. But the fact is that Bionicle was always just a little bit more than that. It was always about the lore and characters and just the all around aesthetic and lore. So for me, I really just love it. And like, this is what made me really appreciate Bionicle. Like this right here, the Protector of Fire, was the first Bionicle that I ever bought right off the store shelves that wasn't just like some old one, because I had Jollar and I had a Borak, and that was it. So this was literally my new Bionicle dude that I finally got. And I remember there was like an old mobile game that we used to play on like the Google Pixel, and like that was also the reason why I got really into Bionicle as well, because I saw my friend Roan play it like all the time. So I bought this one for myself, the little $10 Protector of Fire, and that was already good enough for me. And honestly, while some people think it's the weakest design, I really do love like the chest plates that they use right here and the little fire turret with the little fires. Like I have too much bias against this, but like I really love it. And the next order is that I got the Lord of Skull Spiders. So I wanted the main villain at the time, because the first half of the wave they only used Lord of Skull Spiders until they had Skull Grinder and the rest of the Skull Warriors essentially. And Skull Spider is, I mean, he's okay. Like, the fact is that, like, I like that his, like, little claw gimmick. It's kind of hard because it uses, like, a rubber band. So, like, there you go. It's working pretty well. And you can clutch one of the Toas or the little protectors and, like, it's grabbed them, right? And then it's caught in its web of lies. Do you see it familiar? Like they're using spiders again, like the Visorak from 2005. But I think the cool thing that 2015 did bring back was like the way the mask could actually like flip open, and I really do like the hinges and like points of connection they used for 2015 and 2016. I do have Golly's mask, and I do have the golden mask from Tahu, and the transparent orange mask that they used in the Polybag, which I gotta just make a video just on its own. Now the Tahu Master of Fire, well the newer version of Toa Tahu, really does encapsulate everything that I love about Tahu. The fact is that he really gets a cool way to have like his like sword surfing, like he gets to like, go back to lava surfing back in the day, and while the Toa newer version of Tahu could kind of do the same thing, I just like how more drastic and like exaggerated it is in the 2015 variant, because he has two swords that he can use, and then he has like two extra like little like daggers that he can also use right here. So I kind of like keeping it in this configuration. But the fact is that they basically make him look exactly like his Mata version, and especially like the way that the mask looks is just basically how his Mata version looked, just in a modern translation. And also the other fun feature that they kind of bring back is that the way that the gears work like they did all the way back in 2001. Like this is basically a faithful recreation of the toy that people come to love. But 25 years later, I mean, if they waited another decade and came out with these sets today, I would have think they would have been even better, right? Like I think it would have been more of a warmer reception, and I think it could have gotten even new fans than just kind of jumping the gun like 5 years after the franchise already died. Though the set I got also for Christmas, on top of the ATDP, was the Mask Maker vs. Skull Grinder. This was the other set that I wanted for Christmas, and I got this set for Christmas. Now, because it was obviously the main villain for it, and also basically the main hero, and I'm pretty sure this is like supposed to be the fill-in for like Takanuva and Makuta, or like the Montanui, whatever storyline they were going to continue in 2016. I actually forgot something, but he's the Mask Maker, right? Like he created or aided in the help of the Mask of Creation, which is one of the 3 rare Kanohi masks that they actually didn't get around to in the original run for Bionicle, but 2015 then adapted. So, like, it is really cool that I finally get to own this mask. Like, I think this is one of the coolest LEGO Bionicle masks that I actually do own, and it's the one that I want to keep sacred, even though I know, like, there's also, like, the, like, trans blue, like, this light blue color for this mask that came out in 2016, but that did come out in, like, 2 sets. But I really do love the golden mask a lot more, though, and honestly, it's just more special since it does come on a very unique little stand, so that way it feels like it's levitating. So, like, you know, the Skull Grinder versus Mask Maker can have an epic battle, and then, you know, Tahu, because basically Tahoe's really the only main character because they kind of butchered the other ones. Now, I was going to end this segment of this video with LEGO Dimensions, though I'm going to be honest, I want to do a separate video for LEGO Dimensions because I think that's just more of a bigger topic in general, because like I don't think I can do it, but like it's also just piled in a corner right there too, on top of like this whole mess right here. Like like recording this video is just a huge mess, so like I am going to talk about LEGO Dimensions, and if I haven't done it already, it'll either be right before this video or it'll be, you know, right after this video. So I mean, now the other 2015 set that I also own is this amazing little Hulkbuster, the Mark 45. I also own the Mark 44 from the Mark 44 Hulkbuster from 2015 as well, which is also, I had the Scarlet Witch and Ultron before anyway. The Ultron's actually up there. This isn't like the best Hulkbuster. This was like the first Hulkbuster they made in LEGO. I do like the head mold that they used and like the way you could put Iron Man in it, but I do think like the 2020 and some of the modern variants of the Infinity War one, they did just recreate this year in like I think January, or like yes, they did make a recreation of the Mark 44 this year in January, because that was like the Epic Moments line that they did. It took that long, almost like 11 years to make just the Mark 44, since they kept making the Infinity War comic variants. So I kind of think that's a little funny. The only other set I have is the Stark Tower, the Avengers Tower from 2015 Infinity War. You can kind of see for obvious reasons why I didn't take it off my shelf for the moment. I do want to just make a video about like this shelf and like my modulars, because these are like the only two proper modulars that I have, the Sanctum from 2018. So if I do the 2018 retrospective, I'll just talk about both of these again anyway. I do have the Ultron up there. Like, I do have a couple of the Iron Mans over there too, but like, oh my gosh, I got like, this is like the kind of the hardest part of my collection to kind of go through anyway. But yeah, you know, I just wanted to show it off quickly. Alright, let's look over some 2015 sets right now, because this is going to be very exciting. So some architecture sets, I didn't even know that some of these exist. The Louvre, the Faltrin building, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize this was even like a thing. Like, I know this is like from New York, from Friends, so this would go great with my Friends collection. And the Lincoln Memorial. These sets have not actually been remade. I don't even expect any of these to actually ever get remade. The Louvre, however, is a very interesting one. They use a lot of like trans-clear pieces. Okay, this one I did want for a long time. I remember seeing this in like LEGO magazines back in the day, but the 2015 Wall-E, all the LEGO ideas are really great. And even like the Big Bang Theory, I was sadly a Big Bang Theory kind of guy, and I did watch the first season of Young Sheldon when it first came out. Not that anymore. And even like the Doctor Who LEGO ideas, like this might have been one of like the best, most iconic LEGO ideas years they've ever come out with, mainly because they're mostly all just IPs, though we take it for granted, because like I think all of these, I think besides the Big Bang, like Wall-E's gotten sets made, Doctor Who had like some LEGO Dimension sets. I'm assuming they'll probably come out with more Doctor Who sets at a certain point. Oh my god, I gotta get this A-Wing Starfighter. I can't believe I haven't even had this A-Wing poly bag before in my life. And there's also the ATDP mini poly bag as well too. This one I'm like, I could probably get, because I am a big Star Wars Rebels guy, because I do have like 3 of the TIE Advanced Prototypes mini poly bag from back in the day. And I do have the First Order Special Forces TIE. The Avengers Quinjet poly bag, I'm surprised they don't make a lot of these. I think this might be the second. I think there's only 2 of these like Quinjet poly bags, but this is specifically the Age of Ultron one. This has definitely not been remade. I'm kind of surprised they just don't do more vehicles for like LEGO Marvel and Avengers, but I don't know. The Gallimimus Trap poly bag as well too. Just getting a dinosaur in a poly bag is like insane, like fully molded dinosaur. I know he's a lot smaller, a little tiny little guy. We need more of those. We need more Jurassic World poly bags. In fact, I don't think we've had one in like a couple years. I don't even think we've had it in 5 years. God, I hate friends. I hate having friends. Mixels! I love Mixels! We got Rocket, Nitspuck, Nerpnot. Yeah, Nerpnot. I forgot that's his name. Nerpnot, Meltus, Flamezer, Bernard. That's his name. Golbert, Vampus, Boogly. I liked Boogly. These Boogly ones, they had glow-in-the-dark eyes. Like, that was the most unique thing. I love that. I really did love that. Gawks, Jinky, Korg, Chilbo, Snoof, Spurg, Turg, Tugster. Oh, okay. I did like these guys a lot. Cram, Forks, and Ruzzo. I like the construction dudes a lot. I think I used Cram the most for like the Wario hat. I think I wanted to make like a Wario mock one day. I think that was like the perfect piece to use. Dribble, Gurgle, Slusho, Snacks, Burp, Vaka Waka, Vaka Waka. The names are so good. They're so stupid. I fucking love it. Ooh, okay, you know, I kind of want to get like an Artemis, and maybe one day they'll make an Artemis too, but like the Spaceport Lego set, like I just love the rockets. I love the rockets a lot. I think that I would want that one the most. 2015 was like the year I really did fall off of Lego City and Creator. I don't think I got that much. The Deep Sea Scuba Scooter, I did have that. I like that. I showed that one to you before, so you're okay, guys. Yippee! The last year of Chima. Well, okay. I think the only one I'm gonna mention for Chima at this point is, I don't know. This one's kind of the obvious one. I'm pretty sure it's the giant fucking mammoth. I have never seen these Chima sets before. And I don't know, like, maybe this is general confusion. I don't remember 2015 Chima. That's like how much of a blur this is to me. I thought there was the mammoth. Did I miss the mammoth? I might have missed the mammoth. Oh god, I'm so bad at this right now. This is also the year I really just did not know anything that was going on with Ninjago. Like, okay, Final Flight of Destiny's Bounty. I had some... Okay, we're gonna just talk about something I actually know at this point. Bionicle 2015. Alright, so we have the protectors here. Now, I had the protector of fire and the protector of water. They did come with very nice, like, skull spider designs, too. But protector of fire was, like, the first one I ever got. The rest of them are just pretty much the same. Like, they're supposed to be, like, the Mitorans of this era for this Gen 2. But, like, Liwa, Master of Jungle. You got Pahotu, Master of Stone, and Gali, and Tahu, and Kopaka. And honestly, I would love to get the Kopaka. Like, I have Tahu and I have Gali's mask, but Kopaka's my boy. But, I mean, Tahu's probably my favorite. I think Tahu is probably the best one out of all this. Anua's pretty underrated as well, too. Lord of Skull Spiders. I think this might... I mean, it's cool. I like the function of it is cool, but it's one of the lamest designs. But then I think about it, I'm like, I like the golden spider, like the skull spider that's golden. I lost that. I don't have that anymore. But like all like the other like Skull Warriors, like Skull Warrior, Slicer, Basher, Scorpio, I mean, they're fine, but like they're now really expensive. But I'm like, it's good that they had a lot of different like villain types, I'll say that. But the only one I ever cared about was Maskmaker vs Skull Grinder, because at least like, you know, that was the main villain of the year, and I like had more story relevance. So I don't know, I just much prefer that. 2015, I did forget they made Lego Movie sets in 2015, but that's also because I remembered the only one from like the double-decker couch. This one was the one I wanted. It only came with like the big pirate ship, Metal Gear's big pirate ship last year in 2014, but the double-decker couch, this is the set I want. Like, this is like, if I only had one Lego Movie set I would want to get, this is probably the only one I would ever need. Natruvius is in it, Lord Business, Unikitty, Benny. You get the cool car. I love that car from Lego City from like 2010. The Simpsons. I forgot that the Simpsons had like a CMF last year and in this year as well too. I might need to do a video on the Simpsons. I haven't even done anything. But I'm not as big of a Simpsons guy. Like, I'm more of a South Park Family Guy kind of guy. But even then, so like the Quickie Mart, oh boy, I know how much that is sought after. Like that in the Simpsons house, but I don't think the Simpsons house came out this year, or maybe it came out last year. I don't remember. Dimensions is having its own video anyway. I'm not gonna have my own. I'm not gonna talk about it in this year because it's too much. But like the starter pack itself, I think is very nostalgic. It's kind of weird because it's like, all three of the characters in it are from the Lego Movie, which might have been helping with the brand synergy in the first place, but it's Gandalf, Wildstyle, and Batman. They're all Warner Brother properties. It's okay, because like, yeah, okay, an original IP, so Wildstyle makes sense. Batman's popular, and Gandalf is popular, but I like the pad. I have the pad back there, but I'm not going to talk about this because like at this certain point, Dimensions is going to be its own video anyway. Like, I think the UCS Millennium Falcon and Slave 1 are probably, like, perfect for any Star Wars collector. Like, at this point, it's like, they're bad expensive. Like, I wouldn't just say to go and get those sets, like, right now, or maybe you should right now, I don't know. I'm like, it's just, don't create FOMO around it. Republic Gunship Microfighter is also a pretty solid set, not gonna lie. I think I just have nostalgia for it because I love that clone pilot, and honestly, it's a very cheap way to get a gunship. Imperial Troop Transport and the Shadow Trooper palette, like, you know, battle pack. I mean, AAT, T-16 Skyhopper, TIE Advanced Prototype, ATDP, Wookiee Gunship, Hellfire Droid, Battle Droid Troop Carrier, Anakin's Custom Starfighter, Senate Commando Troopers, Geonosis Troopers, Ezra's Speeder Bike, Flash Speeder and Boost Starfighter, Final Duel, Imperial Lander Class, TIE Advanced UCS, oh my god, I forgot they made that, Sith Infiltrator, oh my god, there's so many. I also just randomly have the Ewok 2015. Oh, that's not even mentioning the sequel sets either. This is the first wave of the sequel sets. I did have a Poe X-Wing fighter. This is probably one of my favorite X-Wing models. I mean, it's just because it's different. Like, a black and orange is just so striking. Even, like, the Millennium Falcon and the Imperial Salt Carrier. I mean, oh my god, the Imperial Salt Carrier. This is an all-timer for me as well. I need that helmet. Like, I want that Sabine helmet so bad, but now that's, like, almost like a couple $100 thing. So, buildable figures. I've talked about buildable figures on the channel, but getting that Grievous, oh my god, like, I mean, this was the same year that Bionicle resurfaced and stuff too, so I would really love that. Even like the Scooby-Doo sets that came out, like even like the Mystery Machine, I think is also another all-timer. I'm surprised they've only made it once in this. Like, if they made a Mystery Machine like Speed Champion or Icon set again, I mean, they should. I mean, it's weird that only like Fred, Scooby-Doo, and Fred, I said Fred twice. Your machine with like all the characters in it. You know what? Just do a Velma version of it. I'm done with the video. Haha, screw you guys. We're talking about Velma now.